horse health check video. I have my lovely assistant Kathy, who is one of my keeper horses. He's 21 years old and he's perfect. I have my friend Adrian and my friend Megan behind the camera. Adrian's my holder. Adrian and I will be communicating the whole time, letting each other know. I always have a handler when I take vitals for safety reasons. It's also better for our horse because if he does anything, then she's right there to help me with it. So, things to be aware of is that for safety purposes, we're always going to be on the same side of the horse regardless of what I'm doing. I'm never going to stand directly behind him, and I'm always going to be aware of his body language. I'm going to be aware if he's kind of kicking out with his back legs at all, if he's pinning his ears, if he's getting fidgety or uncomfortable, because those are going to be signs that regardless of what I'm doing, something he's not quite liking. Because we always need to be safe regardless of what we're doing. So, starting off by just general appearance and behavior, we're going to kind of look and see what's normal for a horse. And this is knowing your horse and why it's important to spend time with your horse. So for him, he's very calm, he's complacent, he's not acting fidgety or uncomfortable. His eyes are a healthy alertness. He's paying attention to me, like he's sniffing my hand now. So he's obviously not like feeling weak, feeling depressed. He's alert, but he's relaxed, which is also very important. If your horse is uptight, that's a good indicator that something is wrong. So knowing your horse's normal behaviors and what's normal for them is going to be a good sign of their overall health. I have my materials already here ready to go, so they're in like the position I need them to be, but they're not in the way of him, so he can't step on them. What I'm going to go ahead and start with is capillary refill and mucous membranes. Now, these are in his mouth. What we're going to do is we're going to lift up his lip. I'm going to check underneath. What I'm checking for is moisture. He has a good moisture content on his lips. My fingers are slobbery. So you want it to be moist. You also want the color to be pink. He has really good pink gum lines. So that's a good indicator that he's healthy. Abnormal colors are going to be a fiery red, which could indicate an infection. Anything kind of yellowish is going to be liver problems, jaundice. Anything pale could indicate dehydration or shock, and a blue color could be indicatory of like lack of oxygen or anything like that. So knowing kind of your normal parameters for color is going to be important. You also have the mucous membranes of the eye. We don't check those as often because we want our horse to be as comfortable as possible. Now, for capillary refill, what we're going to do is we're also going to check in the mouth. I'm going to press my thumb right above one of his teeth and then remove. I don't need to press for too long, but what we're looking for is when we release the press, the gum is white. We want that color to return to normal within 1 to 2 seconds, and that's exactly what it did, so he's in our normal healthy parameters for that. Another way to check for dehydration in our horse, which is what capillary refill does, is we can also do our skin pinch test, which is all we're going to do. We're going to grab the skin on his neck, pinch, and release. So he's right in our normal parameter of 1 to 2 seconds as well, which is what we want. Any slower would be an indication that he might be dehydrated. Something to be aware with him specifically as well is since he's a little older, his skin isn't as elastic, so it's going to go a little slower to then mount back. So in older horses, you need to be aware that it might be slower than in younger horses. So we're going to also, while we're up in the front part of his body, go ahead and take his pulse. The first place we're going to take pulse is at his maxillary artery underneath his jawline here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place my fingers, and Adrian is going to time for 10 seconds, and I'm going to multiply it by 6. Our normal range for pulse is 32 to 44 beats per minute. Whenever you're ready. I got 6, so he's at 36, which is right in our normal parameters, which is good. That's exactly what we need. It's really nice when they kind of just hold their head still, and it's a little easy for you to get it. I'm also going to go ahead and check his digital pulse, which is down in his lower leg. I'm going to work my way down so he knows I'm there. I'm not going to make any sudden movements. You got to kind of feel. And Adrian, whenever you're ready. Alright. Got it? working my way back up, just making sure not to spook him. He was at 6 again, which means he's at 36, which is right in those normal parameters. Note, when I was taking it, I squatted. I didn't kneel or do one knee. You should never kneel because if he does something you can't move away, it's much easier to squat and then jump up and back out of the way if something were to happen. Now, while we're still up on the front part of his body, we're going to go ahead and take heart rate. I have my stethoscope here. Heart rate is, again, a reflection of the pulse. If you're having a difficult time finding one, you can always try the other. So I'm going to check right along the line of his heart girth and then behind the point of his elbow. Check for his heart rate. Right at 6 again, which means he's at 36. So all of his stuff was very consistent, very normal in our normal range, which is exactly what we want. So he's at 36 beats per minute for his heart, which is exactly where we want him to be. Now, heart rate can change with work, with excitement. Something you want to be aware of is that right after exercise, it might be a little higher. When it's late at night and your horse is sleeping, it might be a little lower. Now, the next thing I'm going to go ahead and check is I'm going to check his gut sounds. When you check gut sounds, what you want to hear is a good solid gurgling, noises, the system working. You don't want to hear a rushing noise because that could indicate diarrhea or something's not quite right with the system. If you hear nothing, that's going to be the scary thing, and that's going to mean that your horse might be colicking, so you're going to check. So I'm going to listen to the upper and lower quadrant on both sides of the horse. You have to check all four because it might be quiet in one and not the other. All the time I'm facing towards the back end, being aware of what's going on there, trusting my handler to handle what's going on in the front. So I'm hearing really good solid gut sound circles on both of those quadrants. So I'm going to shift over to my other side. Let him know I'm here, and then check our quadrants again. So, quadrants all normal on all four sides, which is a really good indicator that he's healthy, he's normal, he's feeling well. So, we can also check while we're in this area of his body, his respiration. We're going to watch his flank, and we're going to watch the in and out movement of his breath. Normal respiration rate is 8 to 16 breaths per minute. So, whenever you're ready, Adrian, being aware of his hind end, what he's doing with his body. Right, go. That by 6, which is going to equal 12, which is right in that normal range of that 8 to 16 breaths per minute. Respiration can be increased or decreased with exercise, with excitement, with things like that. So you want to be aware of that when you're taking your horse's respiration because you don't want to get a faulty reading. I'm going to take temperature. What I have here is I have a regular thermometer and a little bit of petroleum jelly. I'm going to lube up my thermometer. Work my way to his back end, letting him know I'm here. I'm going to turn on my thermometer away from the horse, let it read low, lift up his tail, watching his hind, and insert it 2 to 3 inches into the rectum. I'm going to hold it here till it beeps. Now, if I were using a glass mercury thermometer, I would want to shake it down till it was lower than his body temperature, and then I would hold it in him for 2 minutes, and then get a reading that way. Now, he's right in our normal parameters for temperature, which is 99.5 to 101.5 degrees. So, he's at 99.9 degrees, which is really normal for him, which is good. So, in just want to make sure we're being very careful, very safe with all of our actions, what we're doing, watching him, communication and safety, and then checking our horse and knowing what's normal for our horse. Thank you for your time.